The Mark Jeffrey podcast is part of BritPod Scene, an independent network of uniquely British podcasts that's always growing. Check out BritPodScene.com or follow BritPod Scene on Twitter to find out more.
Hello and welcome to the Mark Jeffrey podcast show. This is episode 34, November the 2nd, 2017, recorded live from the studio on the hill here in southwest UK, not a million miles from London. Now, episode 34 was once again proudly brought to you by MPC Solutions for all those computering needs. Hi guys, it's me again. Now I know you've missed me really, haven't you? Well, I hope you have. We've got some amazing music to share with you on this episode. We've got Tombstones in Their Eyes, sent in by Shameless Promotions, and also they sent us in a amazing band from France called Astrobal. And on top of that, me and Liam, we're going to sing you a song.
The Mark Jeffrey Podcast Show.
21 bottles of beer on the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are live. Liam Cloak, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Isn't it great to be back?
It is, mate. I've missed it.
You've missed it?
I have missed it.
It
was only 1 week, I know. But
yeah, I've been away on my travels. Me and the family went on a road trip. So I apologise in advance. Well, I don't know, it's not advance, but I apologise because it's delayed. I apologise if you tuned in last Thursday. There was no episode 34 uploaded, but even as podcasters, we have to go away and have a break every now and again. So hopefully you understand.
Oh, we do.
I feel that we got so much to talk about this week, Liam. You know, we've had a week off. And there's been lots of things that's been going on.
We've got a lot of news in the in tray, haven't we? We
have, yeah. Before I tell you what me and Liam, well, not Liam, but what I've been getting up to with my family last week, I just wanted to tell you, Liam, I don't know if you was aware, but this week it is UK Sausage Week here in the UK.
Is it really? I did hear a little something about it, yeah.
Flipping heck. What sausages? Are you a fan of sausages?
You've got to be, if you're British, you've got to love sausages, haven't you, really? It's a staple of your food, isn't it? Bangers and mash and
is it
toe in the hole.
Is it a British thing, though? Sausages aren't British, are they?
Well, I think they're more known with the British food, though, aren't they?
It's a German thing, sausages,
well,
isn't
yeah, but, you know, the way that we do sausages, which are kind of different to, usually they contain...
How do you like your sausages? Because, you know, I mean, what's your favourite sausage?
I don't know. There's all different flavours now, to be fair, isn't there? So
yeah.
I do like the pork and apple and stuff like that. That's really nice.
Is it your Lincolnshire sausage and your Cumberland?
Cumberland and yeah.
I quite like the chili sausages, the ones with the bits of chili in that
They're
you can get now.
And of course, down this way, like Devon and Cornwall, they have their the hog's pudding and
hog's pudding.
That's nice.
Is that
peppery?
Is that classed as a sausage? Is a hog's pudding a sausage?
I don't know the exact definition of sausage, but it's inside a case, isn't it? And
would you like to tell our listener at home what a hog's pudding is? Do you know what it is?
Well, not entirely. I probably shouldn't I? But it is just a...
It's a freaking sausage.
It's like the opposite of black pudding, though, isn't it? Really,
it is a black pudding, but it's not. It's white. I think hasn't it got oats and stuff in it?
Oats and grain stuff, I think.
Yeah, but black pudding's got blood and stuff in. But I don't really know what goes into hog's pudding.
I'm guessing some form of pork. I'm hoping. Hog.
Yeah, well, sausages are absolutely amazing things. I love sausages. You can't beat a good old sausage on a barbecue, don't you reckon?
You can't. No, you can't.
Yeah, so that's in the UK here. It is UK Sausage Week, and I don't. What's it all about, Liam? Do you know? You've got some information there on front of you. Do you want to tell us more?
Well, the UK Sausage Week for 2017.
Can't believe we're talking about sausages.
Runs. We should have brought some. Shouldn't I? I should have brought some in.
We brought you little wiener in, yeah.
Wiener schnitzel.
Yeah.
It runs from the 30th of October until the 5th of November. And it's just a week to be able to celebrate, I think, the different varieties of sausages and the different, because there's all different kind of counties that are known for different different meats and different things. So they've got the different counties, the different regions of the country, the Southwest, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. So it's and best supermarket, best.
And do you know what I think the best thing about it is? It finishes on November the 5th.
Oh, mate. Do you know what? That's a
fireworks night.
That's a brilliant bit of PR there.
Going off with a banger.
Oh. Oh, man.
So there you are, sausages. That's going on this week. Also this week, it is Halloween. We record this on a Monday night. It's the 30th here at the moment, and tomorrow is Halloween. Now, Liam, when I was a wee lad, we didn't really celebrate Halloween. We celebrated it in school. We used to go into school and we used to have Halloween parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I never used to go out trick-or-treating. Now, is it me or is Halloween getting bigger and bigger and bigger? Because this year, it seems to me that it's more hyped up than it ever has been. Am I imagining things or am I getting older and more miserable or what?
I think it's a lot more popular, really. I can't ever really remember doing that much. I know we used to go out to our grandparents and there's a lot of older people there, and it was quite a few children in the village used to do it that way. But in towns, it's changed, I think. I think there's less people going about knocking on doors, which a lot of people don't like anyway, and more people having parties and go around, and I guess that's better, really, isn't it?
Is it a children's thing, though?
Well,
is Halloween a children's thing? Because I was reading in the paper the day before yesterday, and it was saying, there was an article there, and it was saying, please don't get offended and stressed out when you see adults come into the doors, you know, like when I say adults, older teenagers come in, because at the end of the day, at least they're going out and doing something and having fun rather than blowing up bus shelters and graffiti and stuff. Not only that, also, if you have older teenagers come into your house and they're trick-or-treating, but they're not in, you know, costume.
You say older teenagers, what do you mean, like 38?
Well, yeah, it could be, or if you see children come to your door trick-or-treating and they're not in an outfit, it could be that they're autistic or something like that, or they've got sensory deficiency and they don't actually like wearing costumes. And I mean, over in America, sensory deficiency is quite a well-known big thing, and we don't really talk about it much in the UK. I mean, my son Ethan, he's got a mild sensory deficiency, and we don't really know what it is. Sensory deficiency.
There's a lot that's still unknown about, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is.
So I mean, Halloween, like, it is this week, and so I think it upsets a lot of elderly people, doesn't it? They don't like a lot of, it scares them.
I think a trick or treat thing does. I think it's not so much when you see the little kids go around with the parents. It's quite nice, isn't it? And you knock on the door, usually of people that they know anyway, don't they? I think it's gotten away from people really going around just knocking on strangers quite as much.
I don't give them bugger all, me.
Because it does.
I like, come on, give us your treat. Chuck an egg at me or something. And I'll duck.
If it's anything like that, well, actually, the past 2 years, what we've done is we're like, we ought to buy some sweets just in case they come around. We've eaten them by about 7:30.
That's the thing, isn't it? Last
Turn the lights out, they're coming.
Last year we done trick or treating, and they were all coming up the steps, and I could hear the little kids went up the steps going, "Hey, Joe, try this house," and I just turned all the lights off, and then just sat there, ate all the chocolate to me.
Sat there looking at them,
sticking me finger like, "Go on, bug off! I'm gonna eat your chocolate. Yeah, where's me trick?"
and then they egg your house.
Well, yeah, it has been known. It has been known. So that's a couple of things that's going on this week. Also, another thing that's going on this week, and now I'm going to really, really need your help here now, Liam, because I am freaking confused. I'm really confused.
What, in general?
Well, we've been talking about hype, Halloween and stuff like that.
Hype.
And one hype that's going around at the moment is this freaking iPhone 10. And I must admit, I am really, really baffled and confused about it. Now, on a few episodes ago, I think it was about 4 or 5 episodes ago, around the 28, 29 episode mark, I don't know, you'd have to look it up. I said that the iPhone 10 was out, and about a couple of days after launching the podcast, I realised that I'd made a mistake because the iPhone 10 hadn't come out. They would keep talking about the iPhone 8. And I was like, well, I'm sure I've heard people talking about this iPhone 10. Well, anyway, I was at this weekend and I was talking to a friend of mine, Kenny. Now, Kenny actually works for EE, which is the new name for Orange. And he was going on about the iPhone 10. And I'm like, right, well, I am getting really confused now. And he said, well, the iPhone 10 was launched in the States a couple of days ago. And I said to him, I said, I thought that the new phone was the iPhone 8 that came out a few weeks ago. And he says it was. But now they've got the iPhone X, which is actually the iPhone 10. Now, Liam, help me out here because I'm freaking confused. What the hell's going on?
Apple in general, I think, have tended to release things almost like in pairs. So 2 versions or one first, which might be a little bit less money, and then another one that's jam-packed with extra features. But the iPhone X has got getting very good reviews, but it is in this country anyway. It's hard to get hold of, tied in with like networks, different companies. So it's a bit of a wait, and it is pricey.
But it's the iPhone. It's the iPhone X.
It is the iPhone X.
But is it the 8X?
Not to my knowledge. It's just the iPhone X.
So is the iPhone X the iPhone 10? Because I'm bloody confused. What the hell's going on here?
Do you know what? I don't know. In all honesty, I've never been really like they call it like a fanboy of the geeky stuff. I've got an iPhone, but it's only because my brother wanted an upgrade, so he said, do you want to buy this for a bit?
But these things are like knocking out for £1,000.
They are at least that.
Well, $1,000, isn't it? I think over in the States,
$1,000. But looking at like the £58 a month on some of the stuff. I mean, that's not But to buy it outright, you would. It's a lot of money, but it's got all like the Face ID. If you use your phone all the time and every day, and you pretty much rely on it, or if you commute and you on tubes and buses and stuff, it's probably fine. But I'll be honest with you, I don't use a phone a heck of a lot, really. Because
they got face recognition on this one, I do believe now, which looks a quite an amazing thing, that they can recognise your face.
Yeah, no, it is clever stuff, and it's stuff that normally starts off with Apple, and they develop it, and it'll build into other things.
So if somebody nicks your phone on the train, they just nick your phone on your train, stick your phone in front of your face, and then they go straight into your phone? I mean, at least before you had the thumbprint, didn't they?
Yeah.
And other than cutting your thumb off and taking it as a souvenir along with the phone they've nicked, they couldn't really get into it. But now it's face recognition.
It's strange because it's one of them features that sounds really, really, it's high tech. It's like we're in the future already. And you think, I can't see a reason for having it. I can't think of any other reason. I mean, the thumbprint thing's good, but I'm putting in a 4-digit number or swiping something. I can't see why you would be lazy enough to have your face recognised to open your phone. But that's just me.
Who knows? That's just you.
That's just me.
That's the craze that's been going on in America at the moment. Anyway, they love queuing up for hours for their Apple product.
Well, we do, to be fair, but as well.
But another thing as well, as you are aware, I listen to the Joe Rogan podcast every week. Yeah, I think he kind of does like 3 shows a week now or something like that, and his shows are about 3 hours long. I love the Joe Rogan podcast. Have you listened to it yet?
I haven't. Shamefully, I haven't yet.
I have to try it out. But that's the Joe Rogan podcast. And he was going on about the crazy stuff that's going on in America at the moment, fads and all that sort of stuff. And he mentioned the iPhone 10. And he also mentioned something, and I will be honest with you now, Liam, and I think you're probably the same. I didn't have a clue what he was going on about until I looked it up just a minute ago. And apparently the American people are queuing up for hours for weird and strange gifts by Supreme. Well, they're not gifts, they're items by a company called Supreme. Now, what the frickin' hell is Supreme?
Well, it's a clothing branding, as far as I can see. Quite a hip.
Yeah.
I think 90s.
Is it a skateboard? 1990s skateboarding
94,
brand or
I
something?
think, around that. So they're quite cool to be seen with Supreme things. But this is a thing where no one's really sure whether they're trolling the consumers, the public, but they're just putting the Supreme logo, the branding, on everything, and it is just everything.
Weird objects, isn't it?
But it's getting people. It's kind of exploiting the fact that it might be a bit of a piss take.
We'll say piss take.
All right, piss take. They're taking the piss,
yeah.
but
extracting the urine.
But actually, it's kind of backfired, isn't it? Because it's not just taking the piss. It's people are queuing up just because it's got that on, in the same way that they do really with apples. Apples, because you could actually try and sell someone an apple, an actual fruit, and say that it's made by Apple, and they would queue up for it just because it had that branding on it. And with this, they're doing the same. So
they've had some weird stuff, haven't they? I mean, I saw there's numchuckers. They've had helmets, and
air horns.
Air horns.
I mean, air horns that you can buy probably for not that many dollars or pounds, but put that branding on it, and they'll pay a couple hundred.
Well, these numchucks, I actually saw some on eBay for £250. And it's just because, like you say, it's got Supreme, because they make so little amount of them, and there's people just giving stupid amounts of money to have that item, you know?
But it is genius, because it looks like it has started as a joke, and actually people are queuing up because they want this stuff.
Yeah. Can you remember on eBay years ago, when eBay very first started,
eBay.
Similar sort of thing was happening then, wouldn't it? Where people were just putting random weirdness on there. I think it was a bloke, and he put on eBay, I have a box of cornflakes that I'm about to sell, and I'm going to sell them a flake at a time, and let's see what the first flake can. And I think the first flake sold for like £200 or something. Now, why anybody would want to pay that, I don't know. But it's that sort of quirkiness, stupidness that I don't know.
It's kind of with clothes as well. You know, you can have a pair of trainers and you can put Kanye West on at the side, or get him to put his brand thing that he's collaborated with them, and they'll probably like a $20, $30 pair of shoes you could be selling for $2,000 or something.
Well, it's like the old Nike Air Jordan. I remember when in the 90s I had a pair of the Nike Air Jordan boots, basketball boots. Now, if you've kept those, now I don't know why you'd spend £100 on a pair of boots and keep them in boxed up. But if you did, they're worth like £700-800 now.
It is, mate. No, it's the same with like toy cars and stuff like that. When you're a kid, isn't it? You get these toy cars, you see them now, and you think, flipping heck.
Yeah.
They're worth about £300.
But why would you keep them boxed up?
I would rather they got smashed to bits and you play with them, though. Yeah,
playing with toys is fun at the time, and it gives you good memories and stuff like that.
It does. And then you look and you think, God, I could have had £2,000 for that. That's quite a rare one that I trashed.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, Liam. There was a couple of little things that I saw that I thought I wanted to get out of the way soon while I remember them in the top of my head.
Get it out of your system.
Yeah. Now, yesterday, I done something that I haven't done in a long, long time, for about 5 years.
Oh, God.
Yesterday, I went for a surf. Now, to be 100% factual and correct, I actually went bodyboarding.
Did you?
Because now, I don't really understand it, really, because there's a big divide between people that go surfing and people that go bodyboarding.
Isn't it just shorter board?
Well, it's not, because surfing is a fiberglass board, isn't it? And bodyboarding is a sponge board with a hard bottom. But what I'm getting at is, I say I'm going to go for a surf. Now, it doesn't matter whether I'm on a surfboard or a bodyboard. I'm going in the surf. I'm going for a surf.
Yeah.
But when you're a bodyboarder and you say, I'm going for a surf, they go, no, you're not, mate. You're going bodyboarding. I'm like, I'm not. I'm going for a surf. No, surfing.
You're going to say that every time. I'm going for a bodyboard in the surf.
Yeah. So just so you know, I went bodyboarding, but I'm going to call it, I went for a surf. I went down the caravan at the weekend to shut it up for the winter, give it all a good clean, and closed it all up for 5 months. And we'll be going back down there for Easter. But went down there, and while I was down there, I went in for a surf with my friend Kenny. First time in 5 years. And it was pretty crap, the surf, to be honest with you. We went around about 4 or 5 beaches.
So you just bodyboarded? Yeah,
we shut up, you two. We went around about 3 or 4 beaches in the area, and the surf was crap. It was about 3 foot, but it was an onshore wind, and it was washed up, and it was messy. But we decided
you want it rougher, didn't you?
We was just going to go in there and just to say we've been in for the day. And I really, really enjoyed it, mate. Like I say, first time in 5 years. And
what was the temperature like?
Well, you see, we got there and it was pissing down with rain, and it was windy, and I was just like, oh, I've only got a shorty wetsuit. It's going to be freaking freezing here. But it wasn't.
Not necessarily.
No, because the sea temperature was 14 degrees.
Keeps the heat, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's only. I mean, on average, throughout the year, the sea temperature here in the UK is about 13 degrees. It drops and it raises. In the summer, it normally peaks about 16. It's currently at 14. So, we've only dropped down 2 degrees since the summer.
That's all right.
But bearing in mind
the Arctic conditions,
the air temperature is lower, so it did actually feel warmer, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So, yeah. Have you ever done it before?
Oh, years ago, man. Years ago.
Love it. I absolutely love it.
No,
love it.
I must admit, as a kid, when you're out there, you could spend, and I think I did spend most of the day out there, and you get a sunstroke. I remember that one day. I was out there about 9 hours. It's like Del Boy on the jet ski.
And the thing is, you get like the wind burn, don't you? You come back.
I'll be fine. No, I'm fine. And you go,
come back and your face is bright red, like you've just stuck your head in an oven because you've been
down a whole bottle of Sunny Delight.
Because you've had your wetsuit on, like which is around your rash vest, or your wetsuit is. You've just got that distinctive red. You do look like your face looks like a traffic light.
Just for days after, all I could feel that you're floating in the water.
I mean, I've been for 5 years. I stopped going in about 5 years ago. Now, the reason for why I gave up bodyboarding was because
court order.
No, it was because of a dolphin. Well, it was because of more than one dolphin. It was about half a dozen dolphins that I actually did think was a shark.
Okay.
Now, I am blind as a bat. I'm blind as a bat. Easy for me to say.
Yeah.
And I go in the water. Obviously, I don't have my glasses on, and we were surfing down Senham, and all of a sudden, on the water was these dorsal fins that poked out. Now, you do begin to panic. And when you haven't got glasses and you're blind as a bat, I just got out of that water as quickly as I possibly can. And it kind of put me off, and I've never been in the water since. So I have discovered contact lenses, and I went in the water with some contact lenses this weekend, and it was so enjoyable. I could see things.
I thought you were going to say you saw a shark then.
No, I didn't see a shark, but I did see a Portuguese man of war in the water.
We swam away.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man.
Oh, the jellyfish.
The jellyfish.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was no immigrants in the water, like, on a raft from Portugal or anything like that. No, these are Portuguese men of war jellyfish.
Yeah.
And it looks like, when it's coming towards you, it looks like a condom inflated. It's just like a big like balloon coming at you.
I can see why
with long tentacles.
I can see why you didn't get that David Attenborough gig. Here we are.
Here we have a big condom coming towards you.
Oh no, it's a jellyfish.
Yeah, but they're quite scary little. Not scary. They can sting you and give you a good old jip. You know?
They can give you a bit of a reaction, can't they, as well?
Yeah. So that's basically. I've been trying to get a bit of bodyboarding. I'm going to try and get a bit more in over the winter. Forget the coldness. I might have to buy a proper long full wetsuit rather than a shorty, because it's going to get colder. Suit. And that is going to be part of my fitness plan that I've been doing.
Excellent.
Taekwondo. My core strength is getting better now. I'm currently every morning getting up in the morning and doing some sit-ups, and I'm doing some press-ups, and it has improved my core strength.
That's good.
But the one thing I've got to do now is just get rid of my belly. So I've got to do some cardiovascular. So I've decided that I'm going to do some trail running?
Okay, well, I suppose trail probably.
Yeah, and all that is basically, from what I've gathered, is cross-country running.
So like mountain biking without the bike.
Without the bike, yeah, running across like through woods and across hills and mountains, all that. So it looks really, really interesting, mate, because I run a half marathon. That was the last time I'd done running, which was back in 2010. But the problem is running just bores me, just unless you got a fit bird running in front of you so you can see her cheeks wobbling up and down. It sort of bores me. There's nothing.
Not only that, on like concrete, especially roads and pavements, it can be fairly damaging to your joints and all that.
Well, I'm going to be contradictory there and say something different, because that's what I've always led to believe, that running actually is no good for you. But there was a scientist that I was reading on the internet about 2 months ago, and he actually said that running is very, very good for you. It's good cardio, and
it's the best.
People think that it's bad for your joints, but it's not. the problem is we don't rest our body enough. So when you go on a good run, we tend to then go on run the next day and the next day. And he's saying that when you do this road running, then you have actually got to rest your joints. And that's the reason why people damage themselves, is because they do too much too young. Yeah.
Too much too young. No, that's, yeah, when they say about having kind of different kinds of exercise, they suggest to keep active 5 days, don't they? You need at least the 2 days to or every other day to kind of rest, don't you?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
so it's just all down to rest.
Otherwise, you end up knackering yourself and you can't do anything.
So, don't take my word for that. Go on the internet and have a look at what they say about running, because it is a really, really good exercise. And you just got to be careful and look after yourself and don't do too much.
You haven't got to go and in one kind of go do 20 miles, have you?
No.
You can just do 2-3 miles, build up.
Yeah. So this trial running, what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to do 3 times a week for 30 minutes or 3 times to start off with, and just go running across, like, through woods and across hills and stuff like that, cross country.
Kithill and back.
Yeah, give it not Kithill and back. That's about 40 miles.
Drive to Kithill and then
drive the Kithill and then run across it and then run back and up and down hills and inclines and cross uneven ground. And apparently it's really, 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 really good. So we'll see what that does. But like, as I said, the last week I wasn't here. And the reason why that was because I took the family on a road trip. Now, that's something that I like to do at least once a year with the family. We normally go to loads of different places throughout the country, jump in the car, and we've pre-booked some places, and we go and check out all these places. Yep. And this week's destination was Destination Windsor. We took the kids to Lego Land.
Excellent.
And it was an amazing place, mate. It really was. We had lots of fun. The kids loved it.
It's kind of got to be, innit? It's got to be the UK version of Disneyland, really. That's what they're trying to big it up to be, innit?
Yeah. And we left Friday. I picked Nikki up from work on Friday afternoon when she finished school, and we drove up. Oh, can I just say, I picked her up from work when she finished school. She is a teacher. If you've just tuned in, she is a teacher. I took my teacher. Not my... Oh, well, should we just shut up, bro?
Took my teacher to Legoland.
Can you explain? I took my girlfriend, who is a teacher, to Legoland with the children.
Not like
with
Jeremy
the children.
Kyle.
Oh, no, I gave up.
With your children. You took your family to Legoland. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, we drove up on the Friday night, and we decided that to break the journey up, we would drive up to Bristol, which is about a 2-hour drive, and stay in Bristol. And we stayed at the Bristol Lodge Hotel. And we had a nice meal. It was quite nice there.
That's good.
And in the hotel was a Starbucks.
Was it? Oh,
and
la-di-da.
Have you ever... This was the first time... I mean, I love my coffee, and I know that you like coffee. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had a Starbucks
That's why I've never drunk in there before. No, I haven't.
No?
To be honest with you, no.
Now... Or
Costa.
You've never had See, I've had a custard coffee. I can't get the words out. I'm all excited.
No, I've never done the Costa.
I've done a Costa, but I've never done a Starbucks. I think it was because it kind of put me off of all the tax avoidance that they'd done, and I was just like, I ain't going in there because they don't pay tax, But so I haven't been in there, but because there was a Starbucks in this hotel,
well, it's fair enough if it's there.
I decided that on the way to bed, I was gonna have a cup of Horlicks and go to bed with my slippers and my pipe. Pop, pop, pop. Yeah, but I forgot to take all that, so I popped in Starbucks and thought I'll get a nice cup of coffee. And they had a special coffee that was on. Now, for you American listeners at home, I've been listening to quite a few American podcasts and going on YouTube and watching a few American things. And at the moment, because it's Halloween time, the Americans, Liam, they're drinking this drink called a spiced pumpkin latte. And over in America, because they have like coffees for seasons, apparently the spiced pumpkin latte is the dog's Bowlerix. Apparently it tastes amazing. All on the internet, if you type it in, everybody's going on about spiced pumpkin latte. And I said to the bloke, I says, right, I said, I fancy a cup of coffee. I says, but I don't know what to choose. I fancy the spiced pumpkin latte because of all of what I've heard about it in America. But also I quite fancy the pecan latte. So I quite fancied that. So he gave me a little tiny shot to try of this spiced pumpkin.
Okay.
And it tasted a little bit like the red cinnamon aftershock.
Okay.
You remember that drink, the alcoholic drink aftershock?
Yeah,
so
I remember that.
I'll have some of that. So I had a spiced pumpkin latte, and I tell you what, mate, it was absolutely beautiful. Really, really liked it.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
But after I had that, right, it was the worst night's sleep I've ever had in my life.
I was going to say, it's probably a proper kick on it. I mean, it is a lot of coffee anyway.
No, nothing to do with that. Well, I don't know. It might have been to do with that.
There's the caffeine, isn't it?
I didn't think of that because it was a big, large cup that I drank from.
I've done that before and not slept all night.
But the bed that we were sleeping in was so hard. I just really struggled to sleep. Now, for my 40th...
you're not selling it.
Well, you wait and see for this. On my 40th, I got a mattress from Nikki as my birthday present, my 40th birthday present. And I urge you at home to go to https://simbasleep.com and check it out. They got hybrid mattresses, and it is the range is out of this world. They got about 5 different ranges of this hybrid
mattress.
Hybrid mattresses.
Does it run on electric and petrol?
No. It's 5. You twat. They got 5 different types of mattresses. They got the single mattress, the small double, the king size, and the one that you'd like, the queen. Now. Me and Nikki got the double mattress.
Yes.
And that generally knocks out about £599, which some people might say is a lot of money for a mattress, wouldn't you say? But you spend a lot of time in bed over your lifetime, don't you?
This sounds like a really elaborate setup for an advert.
Now, they say on the site that your Simba mattress will fit snugly on most bases, on most beds. All you need to do is make sure that the slats are evenly spaced so you get a smooth and even sleep surface. The ideal foundation for a perfect night's sleep. Now, if you order...
I've heard that said before.
Yeah. Now, if you order it today, if you order your mattress from Simba...
Right
today,
now.
Yeah, it will be here tomorrow. You'll get it the next day.
My God.
And not only that, but they also give you that mattress on a 100-night trial.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So go to https://simbasleep.com and check out the mattresses, because that is the mattress that I've got. And the problem is...
You're not lying, are you?
No. No. Problem is when you've got a nice mattress like that, what I'm getting at is that when you stay in a hotel, you do feel the difference, don't you?
I've got one of them memory foam things.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. The Simba mattress. It's got 5 different layers, and there's like 200 in the middle. There's 250 springs, and there's a memory foam mattress, and there's a topping on that so it doesn't make you sweat. There's 5 different layers.
It's clever, mate. It really is clever.
https://simbasleep.com. Check it out.
Bless you for saying the whole lot of that 4 times.
Moving on, we got in the car on Saturday morning and continued to go up to Windsor, and we arrived at our destination at approximately 11 a.m. And like I say, we got to Lego Land, and we had a free day in Lego Land because Nikki's cousin actually works for, I think it's Merlin. Is it the company that owns Legoland and Chessington World of Adventure?
But they've got that group, haven't
they?
Yeah.
So we had the day there, and honestly, mate, it was amazing. They had a huge Star Wars area, and it's just like all Star Wars stuff made out of Lego. And I never realised that there was so much Lego.
Well, I think Lego went through a bit of where it nearly went bankrupt, but it stayed the same,
didn't it?
It stayed the same. And I think for years, I mean, when I was a kid, I think most people had a bucket of Lego, didn't they? One of the red ones or the bigger ones, and you just had everything in it. But it's completely now changed to theme stuff and, Simpsons stuff, Star Wars stuff. You can buy specific things. You can not even be into Lego and just like models of certain,
Well, I didn't actually realise that, you were saying that You can get anything in Lego now.
Pretty much.
I didn't actually realise that actually the people that make Lego, I don't know, it is Lego, isn't it? Because that's the brand name. They freelance it out. So what I'm getting at is, say you wanted to design Mickey Mouse, say for instance, and you sent them the design, then they would pay you for that. They would pay you for that design that they sent in. So, you can design something out of Lego, and then you get a percentage of the money.
You do get a commission on it.
Never knew that.
But yeah, you can say, look, I've had this but it is properly like an inventor. You go to them and you say, look, I've had this real good idea. We could build, or someone obviously went through like Pirates of the Caribbean or ships and something. They've made that, sell millions, and you get a cut of it.
Well, they had the Millennium Falcon up there, and I mean, this thing was massive, right?
Man.
But it was selling for £699. Who would spend £700 on Lego?
But people would, and they've tapped into the real. Whereas, I mean, in the UK, Airfix models, and I think, around the world, Airfix and Revel models and kit models, you can get massive kit models that are worth a couple £100, but they've tapped into that. It's clever stuff, really, because they know that you haven't got to be a kid to like Lego, really.
No, that's right.
And to be fair, everyone likes Lego.
Everybody likes Lego.
Yeah.
There was honestly, mate, it was a real eye opener the whole time. I really, really did enjoy my time at Lego Land, but it kind of I was actually glad after my 3 days to get out of the place, because it was almost like
It's quite a while there, though, isn't it?
It was almost like I was on an LSD trip, if you know what I mean. Everything there was Lego, to the extent that we went into the restaurant, right, and Zach had some chips, and even the chips were made out of freaking Lego. They were like Lego shaped chips.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like, it was very interesting.
Who was the man behind the reception? Was it the man with the yellow head with the moustache?
Yeah. Mario, made out of Lego.
I've lost my head.
So we left Legoland on Saturday evening, and that night we stayed in the Premier Inn over in Slough.
Okay.
Which is the next village or town over from Windsor, so you're not paying ridiculous prices. So we went over to Slough, and in that hotel, it was a very, very nice hotel. We stayed in the Premier Inn in Slough, and I had a nice sleep there. Quite comfortable bed and pillows were very, very nice.
They tend to give you more than one set of pillows, don't
you
they?
get 2 sets of pillows at the Premier Inn.
You get the harder or the soft ones, don't you?
Yeah, and we actually bought the pillows. They were
That's geek talk.
You can buy the pillows. Yeah. And buy pillows in Premier Inn.
No, it's good.
And I woke up in the morning, went down for breakfast, had a nice continental breakfast, and a fry up as well. Because all these places, it's like you just eat for the sake of
you got to
eating.
Fill up. You're paid. You got to do it, haven't you?
And I bumped into 4 gentlemen beside me on the table.
What are you going to say then? Yeah.
And I looked at them, and I didn't recognise them, but I recognised the tracksuit that they were wearing. They were wearing a red and black tracksuit.
Not Jamaican bobsleigh team.
No, it wasn't. It was actually the Liverpool FC's physios. The Liverpool Football Club had stayed in that hotel overnight. Okay. And the chap that was on the table beside me said that he saw a few Liverpool players, so we missed that. But the Liverpool Football Club were in the Premier Inn that night.
Okay.
So that was interesting.
Good claim to fame, mate.
Yeah. And then after that, that was Sunday morning, we went to Legoland again and had a trip around Legoland again on the Sunday. But that evening, as a treat, because it was the kid's birthday on the Sunday, we spent the night in the Legoland Hotel. Now, there's 2 hotels up in Legoland. You've got the Castle Hotel and you've got the Pirate Hotel.
Okay.
And honestly, mate, I know... Now, it's quite expensive to stay in the Legoland
I can
resort.
imagine.
It's about £250 for the night for the family.
But it's not the kind of thing you do every week, is
Mate,
it?
it was amazing.
I bet.
We walked in the hotel room and there was just everything was Lego, and the carpet was all like Lego. Well, not Lego, the carpet, all bit shapes and that.
Yeah.
And but it was all done to a pirate design.
Yeah.
So the beds were all done
Specific
in pirate ship style and all that lot, and there was a safe on the floor, and you had to go in there and try and crack the code with clues, and then when you opened up the safe there was Lego for the kids to keep, and also it was a really amazing, it was well worth £250 just to see the kids face,
like I say, it's not something you do every flipping day, is it?
Yeah. So that was our room, and we I say we spent the night in there, lovely comfortable bed, and I almost feel like this show was all about beds, don't you?
I tell you what, if we don't get free beds out of this.
Monday, we spent our last day at Lego Land, and we went on all the rides that we didn't have a chance to go on over the weekend. Monday was sort of like a finishing off the holiday with, like, going on the things that you didn't do, or going to the places we didn't see and that. Before heading back to another hotel in Bristol, a Days Inn hotel. And then on Tuesday, we went to a miniature horse centre at Bovey. So we've
done
stayed in
bit,
a few hotels. We've been to Lego Land, and we ended up at a miniature horse centre. Just something that Nikki chose to do.
Well, it's something different, mate, isn't it?
But say what you want, you go away on holiday, you go on these road trips that we do. It's always nice to go away, but it's great to get home to your own bed. Do you find?
It's come full circle with the beds.
Did I mention Simba Mattresses? https:// Simba Mattresses.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Only once.
So that's what I've been getting up to over the last week. Now I'm going to play you a tune sent in from Shameless Promotions, and when I come back, me and Liam are going to have a chat about a few things that we've picked up on the World Wide Web this week. Music so fresh, so expertly produced and melodically sound that it literally takes your breath away after one listen, don't you think? Utterly addictive words from Primal Music there. That was the shamazing new single from Tombstones, In Their Eyes, and it is called Shutting Down, and it's out there for you to get your hands on as from the 17th of November. It's released from Send Me Your Head Records, and I don't know about you, but I really, really like that one. And you can find them in all the right places on SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, just to name a few. And I will put the links to their material up on my show description notes and also on my webpage, www.jaff10.simplesite.com. I feel like we've got so much to talk about. I do apologise if I'm kind of ranting on a bit this week, but
no,
it's like cool. I say, it's going to be a little bit longer podcast this week, I think.
Oh, there's no worries.
Are you an F1 fan, Liam?
I dip in and out of it. A few years ago, I did used to watch quite a bit of it. I must admit, I've started to. I'm going to just say it. I found it quite boring.
I gave up years and years ago. I used to watch a bit of the old for the touring car years ago. I used to quite enjoy that, but Formula One just bores me shitless.
I tell you what, when I get a chance to see any of the races like from back in the 80s or like the turbocharged stuff where they're going around and they're sparking and they're insane, where they first put the wings on and the different things. It literally, well, it's not because they could have died, but it is so much more fast paced, but it's got a bit repetitive and it's got a bit kind of, you know what's going to happen, don't you, often?
Well, this weekend was quite an interesting one. I think it was now you're going to have to forgive me because I have done a little bit of research, but it's not the best because I don't really know what I'm talking about regarding Formula One. But I do believe that this week was the Mexican Grand Prix.
It was.
And the British guy Hamilton only needed to finish in the top 5 position to become champion. Now, the Mexican Grand Prix got off to a thrilling start after Formula One Championship favourites Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel collided in the opening corners. Now, while Australians Daniel Ricciardo, was that right, was forced out again with engine problems, Ferrari Vettel needed to win in Mexico and hope, right, have you got this? Hope that Hamilton finished worse than 5th. To get total hopes alive. But he was forced into pits after having a massive chunk of his car torn away himself. So it finished up, correct me if I'm wrong, with Hamilton winning the championship for the 4th time.
Yeah. No, he has won it for a 4th time. There's no denying that he is or has had, really good achievements in Formula One. But I think, does it? And that's my question, not just to you, but to people at home listening. Does it make him the best to have won the most?
Oh, I would have thought so, wouldn't it? The more you win, obviously you're going to be better, aren't you?
Well, I guess so. But, a lot of people dislike him. And a lot of British people.
Yeah, but do people dislike him just because they're jealous? Because he has got shitloads of money, isn't he? He has got ridiculous amounts of money, and he got that at a young age.
But, I don't think anyone can knock him for doing well at what he does. And he came into it and right away came into it and did well.
Well, there was a bit of controversy this weekend, wasn't there? Because didn't he knock somebody off the track and stuff like that? And there was just like, did he do it deliberately? Sort of thing?
I think there's a lot of red tape in Formula One, and they've got to refer a lot of it to their equivalent of the judges, the officials. Really, it's just racing, isn't it? But proper racing.
But at the end of the day, it is good for UK sport. The world champion, Lewis Hamilton, he is British, and that's good. And also on Saturday afternoon, as you may be aware, the England under-21s football team won the World Cup earlier this year. And on Saturday afternoon, England beat Spain 5-2 to become World Cup champions under-17 level. So the under-17s have won the World Cup, English under-17s. The England under-21s are the World Cup champions. No pressure on England men's team for this summer over in Russia. What do you think about that one? Have England got any chance at all of making the final in Russia, the men's team?
I don't know. Well, probably not, to be honest. But the positives they're taking us away from this is actually that 4 of the players in the under-17 were Chelsea youngsters. They're now going to be coming up through the ranks, aren't they? So within the next couple of years, and they've said they're not going to rush them into first team or anything like that, but they're developing them potentially into the next generation of England stars, really.
And I think the striker that scored quite a lot of goals was a Liverpool chap as well.
I think
he
so.
scored about 2 or 3 hat-tricks in the whole tournament.
But it's good to see that, it's not just the highest level of national football.
But that's if these guys do get a chance, because there's so many times I've seen it, Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea, the likings, that get all these players come through the rankings and then they sell them to smaller clubs because they've got people that's worth millions and millions of pounds. They're not going to take their places, are they? The youngsters get sort of pushed to one side, and a lot of these youngsters now, rather than making it in the top 6 Premier League teams, they're filtering down to the Championship and becoming the top scorers in the Championship.
And I've always thought, the national team kind of suffers, doesn't it, with having so many players play in the league sides over here or the Premiership, or the Premier League from abroad. They bring in all the best to play in what they see in, and it is around the world one of the best leagues in the world.
Oh, I think so.
But it kind of has a bit of a knock on with the national side, doesn't it? And hopefully this kind of shows that you can have, English players coming up through the ranks that can play.
You just got to not push these youngsters because, they get injured. That's the thing. And like Michael Owen was injured at a young age, and it did affect his
whole career was pretty much injury, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now, another person that got injured at the weekend was old Simon Cowell.
I did see this.
Yeah, now there was an ambulance and paramedic called to his house at the early hours of the morning. Apparently, he was seen coming out of his house on a stretcher with a neck brace on, and rumour has it that he fell down some stairs.
But I not love these kind of stories, but when you see them, they've made quite a bit of this. You imagine if someone like down the street or, had a bit of a fall, or someone in your, community, you wouldn't get this publicity. It would seem insane, wouldn't it, that he took a bit of a tumble down a few steps or tripped. And it's made national news all over the world.
Yeah, well, it's going to, isn't it?
Well, it's going to with him, to be fair. He's missed XFactor recording for 2 episodes, or, 2 programs. But yeah, no, wish him all the best. But I'm sure he's got the best care available to him.
Thing is, I must admit, mate, I have been watching a bit of XFactor this year. I'm not a fan, as you know, I don't like XFactor, but I have watched quite a few, and there's a young blonde bird that's on there. Now, forgive me, I haven't researched her. I don't know what her name is, but she writes her own music, and she all the way through XFactor this year, she's been doing her own original stuff rather than doing covers. And she's just flown through every single time. The audience love her, the people at home love her, and she just keep on doing her own original stuff. And I tell you what, mate, she's a good songwriter. Songs you listen to them and you know that when it goes, it will go in the charts. And when it does, it is of the caliber of like Adele and stuff like that. And it's good. It's good to see that.
It is good to see, and you kind of hope that they carry on doing well. Historically, people that appear to do quite well on it haven't always gone on to do really well.
No,
in fact, second, third, and fourth places have often done better. But
yeah,
good on them.
Yeah, so that was Simon Cowell. Like I say, he fell over. And Simon Cowell, if you are listening, I hope you do get better soon. The reason why I say that is because the other night I had Boy George follow me on Twitter.
Excellent.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, but I've always been a big fan of Boy George, and when you get a follower like of that caliber, it gives you a bit of a chuffy badge, really, to see that there is people listening to your work or watching what you write and stuff like that. And Twitter, that's what I mean. Like October has been a month where every day I've been using the media of Twitter. and doing at least 2 tweets a day in the morning and 2 in the evening, and following people and tweeting and all that sort of stuff. And it just shows that it is a huge medium for social media. And, if you are starting something new, a podcast or anything, get on Twitter, publicise it on Twitter, and a couple of tweets a day, and, you eventually get out there.
No, it's good. It's good work, mate.
So that's what I've done in October. November, I think I'm going to try and give Instagram a go. I'm going to try and do similar things with Instagram and build up my Instagram page. So next week, I'll let you know a little bit more about that.
Excellent.
But one thing I did notice, and it's a bit of good news from a bit of bad news, really, was I read in the newspaper that Sir Micheal Parkinson has told of how he has had to learn to walk again after undergoing major surgery on his back. Now, the chat show veteran, age 82, he's been battling with prostate cancer in recent years, and he said he's now in the situation where he's able to stagger around, and that's his mind is still sharp. His mind is still sharp, despite his physical condition. Now, Sir Micheal told the Sunday Mirror, "I've been ill for the last 5 years. I've overcome prostate cancer, but it's been a difficult period of his life, and his spinal operation has involved a long and unpleasant recovery." Yeah. So, fingers crossed that, it'll all be good for him, because I like old Micheal Parkinson.
He is. He's a kind of a British institution, isn't he?
Yeah.
For his chat show and, his adverts.
Now, I wonder if you could help me again, mate. There's been
I shall try.
There's been a lot of stuff. I've been away. I haven't really watched much of the news, and that's one of the reasons why I love you being on the podcast, because you know a lot of stuff. Over in Spain at the moment, there seems to be a lot of stuff going on in Spain, which is again kind of confusing me. It's is it Catalan? Is it independence? Catatonians? I don't know.
Caricatonia.
Caricatonia, yeah.
They want to split from it. But no, it's Catalonia.
That's the word I was trying to say.
So it's the different regions and districts. It's all to do with this isn't just a recent thing.
It's been going on for years.
Years and years, and it's bloody battles. It's not just a political thing. It's they want to be their own in their own right, in the same way as in the UK, Scotland sometimes often move towards wanting to be separate from the UK, because they think that they're their own country, they're their own region with their own customs, and they haven't got to be part of Spain. That's what they're saying. And they had a referendum or an election, a referendum on whether they should actually be part of Spain or whether they should break free and be independent. Now, basically, it's all got a bit messy. It's got very messy, and it's confusing really to explain. But now they're saying that the referendum was illegal because it wasn't held as a proper democratic referendum. It was held in Catalonia by the Catalonians and their government thing. It's all getting a bit and that.
So how was it illegal? I don't understand how it was illegal. If they've they've gone for a ballot sort of thing.
But they've got their own parliaments as well, and they're not accepted as being. They work together. I think Spain and Catalonia, or the Catalans, work together on a lot of this. But now they've tried to split apart. Basically, the Spanish are saying they're kind of taking rule now over the Catalonia. They're saying, well, look, you're powerless now because you've gone ahead with all of this.
This could get quite nasty.
Well, it already has, isn't it? Really, because a few weeks back, or when they had the referendum and the vote, it's a confusing situation to be in. But the Spanish authorities were instructing the Spanish police or the civil police to stop people from voting. And they were beating them. I mean, they were really... But
the thing is with North Spain is, over the years, they have had their own terrorists there, haven't they?
Oh, ETA.
Yeah, something like that. And I haven't seen anything on the telly recently, but that could all flare up again, couldn't it?
It's an ugly thing. But yeah, no, I mean, the situation where the police were attacking the Catalan people, and the Catalan fire brigade were there in their full uniform defending the Catalan people. It's
it's
a messy one, and I don't think it's going to be solved overnight just by Spain saying that the Catalans can't have their independence. It's an ongoing thing.
There's a lot of the thing is though is the areas that we're talking about like Barcelona and stuff like that, which would be will pull away from Spain if they got the from what they're saying.
It's a big economic.
There's a lot of money that we're talking about here now. I mean, like you say, if you look at Spanish football for instance. Barcelona, they're up there. They're one of the biggest teams in the world. You know, if they was, what would happen there? You know, there's a whole.
I'm not going to say it's exactly like this, but it'd be like in this country, like the North and South divide thing. It'd be like the South or the North saying that, or the South saying they're going to break away, like with London, which
build a wall,
build a wall.
Oh, Trump will be over there when he'll be building a wall,
best wall in the world.
Yeah. Fake news.
Fake news.
So that's that. One thing I did see, though, on a lighter note, is over in Iceland at the moment, they're trying to slow down traffic by building 3D zebra crossings. Have you seen those?
I have seen this, and
they look really impressive, don't they?
Not only do they look impressive, but they are supposed to have... I mean, it is the best way to describe it. They are 3D. They've got the shadow. They look as though there are boxes or white boxes that are actually 3D and they are actually levitating above the pavement.
Now, I mean, looking at that there now in front on your screen, that looks absolutely amazing on a computer screen. I mean, whether it would look like that when you're driving towards that person crossing the zebra crossing, whether it would look like they're raised off the road, I reckon it would. And it would slow you down, wouldn't it?
But they say there's that kind of factor of you looking at it and thinking, what is this? And because the shadows are out further, you know, it's the safety thing.
It does look quite impressive.
Yeah, no, I think it's the future.
Now, I wanted to talk to you as well, Liam, about Guy Fawkes Night. 5th of November, because that's, like I say, remember. It is coming up this week. We're into November now. God, I ain't got a clue where this year has gone. Whether it was because, you know, I had my foot operation and I was off work for the first 3 months of the year, I don't know. But this year has flown by.
It has gone quick.
Now, like I say, 5th of November is fireworks night. In
the UK, anyway.
In the UK. Now, fireworks, do you think that they just get used too much in this country? Would you like to see organised fireworks displays rather than for a whole month of November, youngsters throwing fireworks around, and all you hear if you live in a town in the UK for the whole month is fireworks going off all the time, every night when it gets dark?
I think it's got a bit better.
Yeah?
I do, because, I mean... When we were kids, we used to go to like big firework displays. There used to be one in Callington. Used to go up to Gingsters.
They burn all the pasties and blow them in the air and stuff.
Get bloody mud eye. I was going to say shit eye, but covered in mud, wading around, freezing cold. But, you know, I think the bigger things are better, really, aren't they, than people just having them at home. And like you say, I mean, people setting them off at... I mean, there are times with it as well where you shouldn't have it past a certain time, and like legal.
They go off all the bloody time.
Thing, but they set them off at 11, 12, 1, and it is. I can see how if you've got animals, I don't, but I can see if you've got dogs and that, it's not brilliant, is it?
Now, with nearly half of all dogs in the UK, like 45% showing signs of anxiety when they hear fireworks, the RSPCA have published some simple tips for you out there to help their pets feel safe. Now, whether it's a dog or a cat or a little pet like, you know, hamsters and stuff like that, planning ahead can pay dividends, according to the charity animal behaviour expert Dr. Samantha, I think it's Gaines, I think that's how it's pronounced. Now, she's given us 5 tips to tell listeners of how they can look after their animals through fireworks. Now, number 1, it says, give your dog or a cat, make sure they have somewhere safe to hide, perhaps under some furniture or in a cupboard where they can get to at any time when fireworks are going off. So, like I say, fireworks going off, make sure there's somewhere for the cat or dog to hide, something like that, in a cupboard or under the stairs, so they can just go in there and hide. Number 2, keep pets in a safe and secure environment where they can't escape. nothing worse.
Makes
They want to
sense.
run to a door or something like that. The last thing they want to do is
Be outside.
go
innit?
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 3, get pets microchipped just in case they do manage to escape.
And yeah, a lot do escape, so at least you can get them back nice and quick.
Number 4, during fireworks season, walk dogs during the daylight and keep pets indoors when fireworks are likely to be set off. Number 5, at nightfall, close windows and curtains and put on music to mask and muffle the sound of fireworks. So 5 little tips there just to make sure that your animals don't.
You know what? I did see a thing a while back. This is a really, it's kind of unrelated. They actually, at turkey farms where they're outside, they actually train them in a lot of places now. They use flares and they set them off and get them used to the fireworks so that when the fireworks come, it doesn't scare them to death.
Shut up.
No, it doesn't, because they go everywhere. Yeah.
What turkeys do?
Oh yeah, no, they well, like cats and dogs, they go nuts, but they actually train them to get rid of them, and they send off like poppers and things to, yeah.
What, party poppers?
Not party poppers, no. Got little hats on.
Anyway, should we play another tune?
Let's play it.
We've
man.
got one coming up for you now. I hope you enjoy.
Our bodies are the stuff of the stars. Our bodies are the stuff of the stars. The minerals of the earth. Our blood runs hydrous with the seas. The essence of oceans spills through our veins, through our arteries. The sediment of earth make up our cells.
Dans ton regard ce soir, j'ai vu un mystère, empreint de mousse et de lichen. Puis il y eut ce vide, ce vertige profond, un souvenir qui me réveille. Je me relève, frappé par les vents qui dominent l'archipel.
Your genes are universes in themselves, coded with enough information to recreate the world. The world. The inner mirror of nature that has pushed us to the choices we now have to make, giving it all purpose, a destiny. We are at the apex of a 30.8 billion year evolutionary process that has resulted in us and our lives. All those years ago, the quantum field was planted with a seed. It grew and held in its branches a trillion galaxies unfolding with more stars and many more life forms, home to billion organisms that balance each other in self-sustaining ecological webs, all unfolding in an energetic resonance.
It feels like it's from a utopian future, yet firmly rooted in a handful of genre famously associated with the French. This is absolutely blissful electronic grandeur. Not my words, words of Big Takeover magazine. And this beautiful song is called Astrobal, the amazing sound from the French electronic producer Astrobal. And if you liked the sound of what you just heard and want to find out more, be sure to check out their new album named Memories of Stars. Karaoke Cult is the record label, and it comes out on the 24th of November. They are on SoundCloud, and you can also find them on YouTube. So for more of their amazing work, please go check them out today. And as I said earlier, as the links are on my show description notes, you can find them on my webpage, www.jaff10.simplesite.com.
The Mark Jeffrey podcast is part of Britpod Scene, an independent network of uniquely British podcasts that's always growing. Check out BritpodScene.com or follow Britpod Scene on Twitter to find out more.
Incidentally, Liam, what was your favourite firework as a child?
Oh man, I just the massive rockets, isn't it? The big one,
the big
and
boomers.
you know they're gonna go up in you at the end.
We had an amazing firework display when we was up at Lego Land.
You set fire to a neighbour's house.
But the thing is where we are where I was at Legoland is at Windsor, and you've got Heathrow right by. And I never realised how many planes leave Heathrow. It's just constant
It's like one every 30 or 40 seconds. Yeah.
But they were having a fireworks display on the main path. I was quite surprised, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, we've just played a song there. I hope you enjoyed that one.
Yep.
And now is time for Liam's topic of the week. Always nice to see what you bring up, Liam.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
What have you got for us this week, mate?
Over to me. It's actually, it's a really, in this crazy world where there's so much destruction and stuff reported on the news, I really like this one I saw, and it is at Moss View Care Home in Liverpool. A mother aged 98 moved into a care home to look after a son who lived there who's 80. And I just thought,
you're joking.
You don't hear of this.
So how old was she?
So she's 98 and he is 80 years old, and she has moved back into the house to look after her son. He moved into Moss View Care Home in Liverpool in 2016 because he needed more care and support. And 1 year later, his mother followed to help look after her eldest son.
So he's 90-odd,
no,
98.
He's 80 and she's 98.
Fantastic.
So, like they say, she said she's gone home with him, so she's kind of living at home.
That's amazing.
It's a nice story, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you very much for that, Liam.
No, cheers.
Yeah, it's great.
End with a good story.
I think that basically, it's nice that episode 34, what we've been talking about tonight, we've ended up on a nice note like that.
It's a nice little...
Now that's a wrap.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Liam, once again. Any last words?
Don't let the bastards get you down.
Good one. Thank you for taking the time out at home of your busy lives to listen to episode 34. You can get in contact with me, Mark Jeffrey, at jaff10@hotmail.com. Also, I am on Twitter at Mr. Jaff10, Facebook, The Mark Jeffrey Podcast Show, and check out all the links to tonight's music and guests by finding my webpage at www.jaff10.simplesite.com. Please check out and subscribe to the Mark Jeffrey Podcast Show on iTunes, and while you're there, feel free to leave a cheeky little comment. Do it now. Until next time, look after yourselves and those around you. Treat others as you wish to be treated yourself, and remember, your life may not be as crazy as you once thought it was.